So I watched Joker 2 last night, and before that, I rewatched the first one just to refresh my memory of it. And that one, the first Joker, was one of my favorite movies of 2019. So obviously, I had some reservations regarding this one coming up. And I have to say, this movie, Joker 2, was horrible. Like, it was really, really bad. Like, I don't even know where to start, honestly. Where to begin? It's hard to gather my thoughts here because it was just so god awful. And I was trying to jot down little notes yesterday to get my feelings out of it. So it's kind of all over the place and it's a little messy, just like this movie was. So, I mean, it was just so pointless. It was cringe. It was garbage, honestly. No one forced this to happen. This didn't need to be done. Just because the first was successful didn't mean it had to continue. This wasn't Joker. And I can honestly say that I don't even think people that hated the first Joker would even like this. It destroys everything from the first one, and they'd still hate this one. I really do think that. This movie was here to beat down Arthur Fleck. This was a humiliation. This movie was so unnecessary. It seemed he had his confidence and self at the end of the first movie. I'm so glad I didn't pay for this, especially after watching the first one the night before. Like, this is really a kick in the face. Just think about the face you would make if someone spit in your face. Like, that's the face I feel like I was making throughout the whole movie. And it's like, just think about this. The first Joker, we see Arthur beaten down, isolated, and we see him grow into Joker. We see his progression. This Joker 2, we see the opposite. We see Joker, and I say that loosely because he's not in this movie. We see him getting beaten down and just ripped apart, taken advantage of by everyone, and he retreats. We see him get smaller and smaller until he gives up. It was so pathetic. And not that the creator cares, but it just felt so disrespectful. And also, what happened after the first one? Gotham even looks different in the sequel. It's not even the same city. People were all up in arms and they were sick of everything. How is that all tamed down? And what were they even trying to accomplish here in this movie? I guess it was to just end it and kill the Joker. And if that was the case, they were definitely successful. There was a hatred within this movie. I felt like whoever made this movie just hated everything about the first one. And it's like they almost hated what the Joker became, what it felt to fans and how people felt about it. And whose idea was this? Like, oh, let's add Harley Quinn here. Oh, she's hot right now, right? Everyone likes her. It's like, no, she's one of the most overrated characters I've ever known. Like, all she did was fast track the demise of Joker. Like, congrats. Nothing was gained here. There's nothing. All was lost. And it was like almost an excuse to have Gaga sing show tunes and dance around like a fucking asshole. It was such a waste of time and story for these show tune moments. I just couldn't help but sigh every time I started to hear singing. I was rolling my eyes and crossing my arms. I was so done with it, like, within the first 20-30 minutes. And what sucked even more is, like, they kept reminding you of a better movie. Like, oh, remember this character? Remember this scene? Let's do a little flashback. Oh, you remember the finger gun to the head? Oh, let's have Harley do the finger gun to her head. Like, let's see how connected they are. Ooh. Like, how would you know the significance of that? Was that in that stupid TV movie they kept talking about? I mean, maybe I missed it, but it's still stupid. I seriously just wanted to walk out at some point. I was alone in my row, and no one was around, and I was still, like, cringing and embarrassed. And why did Arthur need so much validation? As I kind of stated before, he was progressing into Joker. He was progressing into what he needed and wanted to be. You could see the difference in his demeanor and how he felt after everything that happened to him at the end of the movie. This is all clearly intentional, I get it. And they made Arthur/Joker a bitch. He was worse than he was in the beginning of the last movie, in my opinion. He was following Lee around like a little fucking puppy dog. It was so regressive. And for what reason? It was just a whole mockery, honestly. Yeah, her name's Lee. Get it? Harley? Wow. So cool. So different. And now it's explicitly said that Arthur was physically and sexually abused as a child. Like, most of us could have came to that conclusion during the last movie. But no, we get more of it. We get more of the explanation and answers to his past, which was not needed. It was just more things and more ways to put him down. And also, did the guards rape him? I mean, I could be wrong, but why? It was just so out of nowhere. And at some point, I was like, why stop there? Like, why stop there at alluding to anything? They've been so on the nose with everything else. All the explaining, the exposition, the rehashing of events. Like, why stop there? Seriously. Just go ahead and give us a little American History X moment. I'm sure they thought about it, honestly. It's like, you want to tear him down so much, might as well just go for it. Oh yeah, and that dude in the asylum, like that dude just grinning all over the place like an idiot. Like, it was so obvious every time they showed him, whether it was in the background or the foreground, whatever, or they're focused on him, he was always shown to be something important, and I knew exactly what they're going to do with him. The second they showed him, I knew what he was going to do or become. It was very obvious. And they had, and I can't believe it, they had a sex scene in it. It's like, are we fucking kidding? I had a feeling it was going to happen, but I was just like, oh no, you're not going to do that, right? Like, I knew the way she was sitting up on that ledge, that was probably going to happen, but I thought they would at least allude to it, but not necessarily show it. It was so unnecessary and completely dumbfounding. Like, I didn't even know what to say. Like, if people could just watch my face throughout the whole movie, it was so bad. Like, that whole scene just really solidified for me the bullshit of this movie. And if you were gonna make a sequel, honestly, like, why not just make it Arthur in jail causing havoc? Him making friends and enemies? It would have been more interesting. Like, I was more interested when he was in there riling all the other prisoners up, just creating chaos. Harley Quinn's character was just so useless and irritating, honestly. Like, I would have gave this movie an extra star if he just slaughtered her. Like, if he just pushed her ass down the stairs. Oh, well, yeah, remember the stairs? We got the stairs in there too, just so you know. And he just like tossed her down the stairs and just curb stomped her. That would have at least been a positive. And you notice how I'm calling him Arthur a lot? This man wasn't Joker. Joker no longer exists. I mean, Todd Phillips sure made sure of that. It was said multiple times in the movies. Just so you know, this is what Todd wanted. You know, probably for the best, because this was garbage. Like, it was shit. And I don't know what the fuck was going on in the courtroom, like Joker / Arthur's little foghorn, leghorn thing. Why the hell did the judge allow that to happen? He allowed that to go on, like, way too much. It was just so ridiculous and stupid. And the judge kind of looked like Martin Scorsese a little bit. I don't know if that was intentional either, but... And every time Arthur was in the courtroom and he made some kind of comment, his fans in the courtroom would just, like, laugh and jeer, like, what the fuck was that about? It was just so cringe. Like, he wasn't doing anything or saying anything exceptional. Why were they in the back room just snickering like little children? Like, it was just so annoying and stupid. He could say something like, oh, could I have a glass of water? And the people, all his fans in the background, like, oh yeah, dude, look, that's so cool. Is that really how the creator of Joker thinks the fans feel about Joker or something? The last movie, he had stuff to say. He had his gripes about the world and his life around him. And another thing that happened in the courtroom with this revisionist fucking history was when they were questioning the neighbor, and apparently his mom was just talking shit about him all the time. Like, it was so ridiculous. Are there any positives? I mean, Joaquin is a good actor, of course, you know, but this was just all a joke. Like, he lost weight for this shit. He agreed to do this. Another positive, I don't know, I guess I don't have to hear that horrible trailer anymore. And I don't have to hear Lady Gaga's horrible vocal fry voice. Like, it was just annoying to just hear her. It's like, oh, I met Joker, and you can be Joker, and you can be anything. It's like, shut the fuck up. Like, it was just so annoying. Just so forced. Oh, and one last positive I'll give you is you can just ignore this movie. Just go see the first one. This isn't Gotham of the first. This isn't Joker of the first. It's not even Arthur. It's a pile of shit. And near the end of the movie, I was just so done with it. Like, I spilled popcorn earlier in the theater, and I started picking up my popcorn and checking my phone because I was like, okay, when is this ending? I mean, this was such a loss once they even announced this movie. It's just a parody. It's a mockery. I'd say just watch the first one. The music wasn't even good. At least put some effort into making the songs, at least something catchy. I mean, musicals already suck, but you couldn't even bother to make it interesting. And God, that stupid fucking mountain song just kept going on and just repeating the same things. Go build your mountain of shit. It felt so lazy. Just, oh, just throw Harley in there, because, you know, it's Harley. Everyone loves her. And just beat this guy down as well as the audience. In this movie, Joker had the audacity to be almost 20 minutes longer than the first one. And with the first ones, you could immediately tell the differences. The music in the first one and the tone was just perfect for what it was trying to be. And with the writing and directing of the first Joker, there was spontaneousness there. Even Todd Phillips and Joaquin Phoenix, when they're talking about making the first Joker, that there was a lot of writing going on, but there's a lot of, I mean, I don't want to say ad-libbing, but it was very spontaneous and organic, the way a lot of the things happened. And I feel like that's completely missing in this second one. It's so deliberate to a fault, this second one. It was just utter garbage. So sorry for the rambling. Like, I'm in my car, I took a few notes, and I didn't even know what to say, honestly. It was so, my mind is so all over the place. It's hard to even like talk about it now because it was so shitty and so jaw-dropping, like in a bad way, that I couldn't even like articulate my points well. This was obviously for Todd to like just dismantle everything, you know, so congrats to Todd Phillips. You know, you viciously destroyed what you created. Such bravery. And I'm sure if there was like a message at the end of this movie, it would be something like, oh, it's been fun. It could have been a one and done, but you know what? Go fuck yourselves. I think that's the message, is go fuck yourselves. And I'm sure there are a lot of other people that will do a deeper dive into this than I have. I just needed to get out my initial thoughts so far. I have 2 other reviews I've been working on for a while that I really need to get done. So I'm just gonna throw this one out there. I think I had a lot to say, but at the same time, it was just, my thoughts were just so all over the place. I felt like I should just say a few things of what I thought as I was watching it and how I felt about it. The more I think about it, more is gonna come out. But for now, I was like, let me just say something. If you made it this long, I appreciate you listening to my little car rant about this movie. There's probably more I could say, but it's just, I was at a loss for words. As you could tell, there's not much to say. It's so disappointing. It's horrible. Just watch the first one if you liked it. But like I said, even if you didn't like the first one and you saw this one, which I don't know why you would, but if you didn't like the first one and you watched this one, like, did you like? I really don't think anyone that watched the first one would like this. It was that horrible. Hope you stick around for my other reviews that are coming up. Just need to get this off my chest. See you guys later.